Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the S-4 Paranormal Bunker. Thank you for coming in and listening to us tonight. Tonight we have Rosella C. Rowe with us. We have Rick Persley. We have Kayla, John, and Jalen Wigleitner in the studio with us, with me, because I'm the only one on here now. And so, thank you very much for coming in and joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
You rock as always.
I know you do.
Not you. John? No.
Yeah.
Friend, you and your 2.5 GPA can...
Hey.
You know what
it
you
is
do.
2.7.
You don't rock YouTube.
So, but, no, congratulations, John, for getting accepted into college and getting your class schedules today. I'm still a little bit upset about that. He only goes for 2 hours a day.
Hey.
Like, what the hell? That's his
that's
last
all he
2 years
needs.
of high school.
2 hours a day.
Just get on my level.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like... I had that same issue in high school, I guess. I only went for about 2 hours, too. Brad?
I just decided to stop.
Brad? So tonight we are going to talk about weird stuff that has happened in space to humans.
They don't have to be astronauts, just humans?
Well, you never know. Like,
Because there's something weird that happened to the dog. That
how
was
many
in up
of
there.
you actually consider Osiris... Was his name Osiris? No.
No.
Who's the guy who flew into the sun?
Icarus?
Icarus! Is he an astronaut?
No, he is a alien. He was
How the hell do you figure? If
he was
an
a
alien, he
god,
would have made it.
dude. Like,
He wasn't a god, was he?
No.
He was an angel, right?
oh my god.
He was a human who put wings on and flew into the fucking sun.
Yeah, because he
Oh,
stole them from
that
the
guy.
god of the sun. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna... So, no, I was talking, like, do you think, like... Okay, so you know when people die now, right?
Right.
Well, you know that they, like, release their ashes into space if they pay, like, some astronomical fee, right?
Most of the Star Trek cast have been had that.
Right, but do you think that, like, those ashes that got released into space are, like, just floating around out there? Or do you think, like, they got hit by some cosmic shit and all of a sudden there's, like, a blobby, like, half-human, like, thing somewhere living out there?
So I saw this argument, actually. I'm part of a Facebook group called Incorrectly Correcting a Poster. And someone said that they took ash and got DNA off of it.
Okay, that's impossible, but...
How would that work in space?
Well, there's still bone fragments and shit in there. Like, I'm just saying, like, they're quite, like... Okay, so if you like shot like a and there's like astronauts that were astronauts and now they're lost in space and there's just pieces of astronauts up there.
For Scotty off of Star Trek,
Yeah.
there is no way there's any bone fragments. There was so much whiskey in that man's body that there was nothing left.
Okay. All right. But I guess what I'm saying is that, like, could there be like some kind of cosmic, like, Dr. Frankenstein but like realistic that like he's all like just picking up pieces of like dead aliens and like all of this other stuff and like pushing them together and they're like, check out this beast. No, okay, never mind. So stuff that happened to astronauts in space. Then, yep, let's go with that. Cosmonauts too. We can do those guys.
Well, like, did you guys know that they went a few years ago? They found bacteria that is not from Earth growing on the outside of the International Space Station.
Well,
and
that's
actually got into the inside as well, into their tubes and the breathing tubes. It was pretty bad.
That's just bad housekeeping. Those assholes. Like, someone left the door open again. Friend.
Either that or somebody took a huge cosmic shit and didn't want anybody to know about it, so they just shoved it into one of the compartments nobody goes in very often.
I blame the Russians, so...
I'm saying there's one bathroom and quite a few people on that station.
Of course, the Texan blames the Russians. Friend.
Right, yeah.
Why does everybody blame the Russians? Why can't we be like, you know what? I blame...
Let's go back in the day and blame who always causes problems.
What?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa. Say what?
You better be real careful what you're about to say, man.
Oh, hey, Robert!
Hey!
Hey, Robert!
Hey!
Why are you so quiet over there?
Because I had it on mute. I'm eating.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because I was bringing up zombie people.
Well, if you're going to have Ash in space, what Pokemon's right there?
What?
What Pokemon are out in space?
Son of a bitch! Wait!
Mew 12. Just saying.
That was worse than the Pokemon question.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was
I'm just gonna...
Oh my god.
Okay, I should have gone to sleep instead of this.
No, but like it's kind of amazing that like we're finding bacteria that can actually grow in the vacuum of space.
Well, there's got to be shit that grows in space. I mean, like, there's shit that grows on the bottom of the ocean. There's shit that grows everywhere. Like, there's got to be something that, like, naturally is just a space-dwelling race. Like, whether it looks like a big whale or whatever.
Okay, Doctor Who, calm down.
I'm just saying. Okay. You know what? That's where the bacteria came from. It came from the towel that guy had around his neck when he hitchhiked the ride.
You're really digging into the whole sci-fi thing right now, aren't you?
I think so. I'm sorry. I apologize to you listeners and to my children.
Quoting Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, nah.
That was not bad. Very
maybe if you had the depressed robot out there, he might be making things.
Yeah.
That is true.
Oh, I miss him.
Yeah, me too. So we are honestly talking astronauts that have seen some crazy crap in space.
Buzz Aldrin came out just before his death.
Yeah.
And claimed that on his various missions and on missions that he was within control for, they did make contact on a few occasions. As well as saw things that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those things can be explained by just space in general and our own ability as a human with the different pressures that are, like, pushed on different parts of our brain and our sensors and everything. Like, certain lights and that kind of stuff can be explained scientifically with cosmic rays and stuff like that.
It's space. There's no pressure up there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they landed on a plane.
But
the moon.
Then explain this. On the ISS...
Yeah.
They saw a gorilla chasing an astronaut.
Yeah, it's called hallucinations caused by depressurization in the rock.
There was a gorilla. There
There really was a gorilla.
Yes.
Okay.
It was the Russians. It was vodka. I'm telling you, it's always the Russians.
No, I need more explanation.
Yeah, explain this gorilla, dude.
So, this one astronaut, he sneakily brought a gorilla outfit on the ISS, and then
Sneakily?
Shut up.
Yeah, it's like secretly
brought a gorilla outfit on the ISS and chased around one of his fellow astronauts.
Do you know how scary that would be if you were not expecting a gorilla to just pop out of nowhere? That's hilarious.
I bet I can find it.
Okay.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like,
I wonder how many like different things he had to go through with that gorilla suit. Oh, that's interesting.
How do you get a gorilla suit into a space capsule? It's not like they're on a space shuttle going.
You
up
just
there.
sneak it in one.
Oh, he had help.
Right. Oh, yeah, he had to have. That guy probably pissed off way too many people, and they were like, hey, go ahead and take the gorilla suit. Like, do you see...
capsules and the other supply
You know how
capsules.
terrifying that would be?
Do you see the astronaut's face, though? He's like, ah, shit, space gorilla! Okay. That's awesome.
Well, there are actually, like Buzz Aldrin, like, right? And then Neil Armstrong had actually said in private conversations to some people that kind of got out or had secret tapes that they had a separate line that they couldn't speak about such things on the missions. Like to actual, like Houston. They had to actually push a separate button and have a separate line. I thought that was really kind of interesting.
Yeah, like Neil Armstrong, it came out like years later, and everybody called it a hoax and said that it wasn't real and all that. But then there was like tapes, and so whether or not you believe it, I don't know. But supposedly during like, I think it was a couple of minutes or whatever of blank time while he was up on the moon, he was talking about seeing other entities' crafts up there.
So on the other side of the moon, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Seeing lights and seeing other types of crafts from different worlds.
Yeah, and there was like actually some other weird stuff that just kind of happened in general too. Like on Gemini 4 mission, pilot Jim, it said McDivitt spotted an object that he described as a white, was a circular shape with a white pole sticking out of the corner of it. And that they took a picture of it, that turned out to be actually part of the actual spacecraft. So there are some things that just kind of ended up happening. Like there are just unsolved things. But I watched that NASA Unsolved Mysteries, I think it's called, or Unsolved Files. And I'm still working my way through it, but there's incredible lot of stuff that like is interesting because I forget what mission it was, but I remember I think it might have been maybe Apollo, like 11 or something, but or one of the Apollos. But anyway, it was they were hearing strange knocking saunds on the craft.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and they actually found out it was some kind of like thing to do with like the air, the pressure, or something like that. So they explained it away. But like, yeah, when they were on the other side, when Buzz was on the other, I think it was him on the other side of the moon, or Neil Armstrong, they seeing those things. The other astronauts stepped up and said, yeah, when we were out there, we did see the things that he's describing though. So that is true. So is there any kind of like other tapes or recordings that anybody knows about that like are a part of that?
No, they said during that too that there are like several astronauts that have heard the same type of a knocking noise. Who was that one? It's Story Musgrave or Musgrove?
Story Musgrave. Yeah.
Yeah, that heard the similar knocking noises. He also claims that he saw like a actual eel looking, like white eel looking, glowing animal in space. And he's been on like a ridiculous amount of missions. I believe he's the one that has been on the most missions into space, and he holds like 4 different advanced doctorate degrees, and like he's a smart dude, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and you gotta be damn smart to go to space, like, and do what they have to do, like, and if something goes wrong, having to like be able to fix the machinery, maybe, to get back to Earth. So you gotta be damn smart and, very physically able as well. So yeah, these guys are obviously telling the truth.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, but they're telling the truth based on their perception of what happened.
Right.
Okay? Because you also got to think, if this guy's the only one that's seen this eel, okay, but he's also been on the most manned missions up there. We have no idea what the actual effects of space travel are on the human mind and the human body. Especially prolonged space travel. We just don't know what that's actually going to do to a person's psyche, to a person's brain, to a person's functions. So we gotta take that into account too, just a little bit at least, because it could honestly just be visual hallucinations from the amount of G-force that person just took getting up there.
Right, yeah. It kind of, though, usually isn't it kind of later in the missions where they do have, like, they experience it? So not just
it is.
There.
It is. But if you think about, like, okay, so if you're exerting that much G-force on a human body, okay, we are not designed to take that. And if you get all the way up into space, well, then during the course of the next couple of weeks, during the course of your mission, your blood, your everything is going to be coursing differently because of the different gravity and everything else. And it's kind of like when you get a concussion, and sometimes you're fine, but then you see shit that isn't necessarily there, or you start having issues like 3 days, 4 days later, you know?
Right. That's
so
true.
But I mean, I can't discredit the fact that there's a shit ton of astronauts and cosmonauts that all seem to have seen something when they're up there.
The fact that they do an intense amount of G-force training.
They do. They train for this. They train for this, for sure.
Like, also, all those guys are test pilots at some point. They almost all of them have. Now, the current group of astronauts, I'm thinking a lot of them, haven't necessarily done all the test.
Yeah, but I mean, some of these guys were fighter pilots for like 15, 20 years beforehand.
They were. Every one of them, they were either test pilots or they were combat pilots, and they'd seen every kind of G-force that you could put on a human body. So it was
right.
But the current group, it's like a different, but they have different levels of training now too. Those guys were smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and
like a couple days before launch. Yeah, absolutely.
Now I don't even know if they get coffee.
Landing pad or takeoff pad. So
yeah. Now I don't even know if they get coffee.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't think they get any stimulus, like external stimulus or internal stimulus. Like, I don't think they get anything that has any like kind of nicotine, any kind of caffeine, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be awful. Just in itself.
Yeah, that alone is the reason that I didn't become an astronaut. Like,
that's it.
Yep. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Because it would have affected your cocaine habit.
Whoa!
What? Well, there's another thing that was also kind of interesting. On August 19th, 2020, cosmonaut Ivan, Wagner, posted a video on Twitter featuring UFOs on a time lapse he recorded of the Aurora of Australia. So that was interesting. He called it the space guest. So that was kind of interesting, I thought. What do you guys think of that?
I think he's drunk in Russian. Move on.
Oh my God. No, but I was actually
never trust a Russian.
I've read some stuff on that too, and honestly, if you look at the video, and if it is authentic video, it does show something a little strange up there, where you're like, I don't really know what that would be. Okay. What?
Besides the Russian?
What? Yeah.
I said besides the Russian?
Yes.
Friend.
No, it looks like a little, like almost a V type ship, but more of like just the outline of one, not. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain that unless you've seen it.
Yeah, I think I've seen it, but I can't. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my issue with it. Friend. Back in the 70s and 60s, why did you become an astronaut?
For the glory, for the space race.
That's right.
That's your issue with the video?
Get the hell off the
No, well, hold on. Okay. Brent, you became an astronaut to get your name in that book. Now, the problem is there's too many names in that book. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Not as much. Friend.
Right.
No, well, it's just like original pilots. Like they were.
Yeah, a lot of them are forgotten very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But what does that have to do with seeing something in space or reporting?
Because a lot of them do not get the notoriety that they wanted out of it.
But they will if they said they saw something.
They say they saw something. Because my issue isn't when they come out with a story, it's when they immediately sell it.
I don't know about that. I have to say, though, because, like, you heard, I mean, all the time, I'm from Ohio, of course, like, you know, Neil Armstrong, and, like, I think John Glenn were here, too, right? He was a senator. They were always saying that they did not want to talk about it, that they could not talk about it, and it would ruin their career.
Absolutely.
So I have to say, like, if you, I feel like if you did come out and say it, it was like you had some real guts.
John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, their names are different.
Yeah, theirs will go down in history
because they're
forever.
first in the book.
Well, and Buzz Aldrin as well. I mean,
But you think about it,
character, and
it would have ruined their careers.
Yeah.
Now it's a little different. Since probably the early 90s, it's been a little different because in the early 90s, they could tell you, NASA could just put out a statement, that guy's nuts. For now, they're like, well, we don't know. We're going to look into it. And that's all they have to say. But, so it's no longer a worry of ruining your career, but not getting the attention that you used to from being an astronaut, from actually doing that incredible feat, because it's still an incredible feat to be able to go into space. For a lot of people, it's not enough anymore.
Yeah, but you know there have been over 600 people who've traveled into space.
Yeah.
And we know maybe any given day a person might know 10 of those names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the original group, and that's about it. You know, and the one wrote Yuri Gagarin, and that's it. I mean,
and then the ones that never made it, too. You know those ones, like, you know they're not household names as much, but you know the people of the Columbia and the Challenger missions. Friend,
those were tragedies, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then movies done about certain missions have made others popular.
Well, Jim Lovell, you wouldn't have known any of the guys from Apollo 13 unless you were just a NASA nerd.
That's right.
But we're alive back when that happened. And I wasn't, we were, 2? 3, maybe? So, yeah, I wasn't exactly paying attention. So,
but that's all I'm saying, Roselle, is just because they're astronauts doesn't make them not human, which means they are still, like, valuable and they can
lie.
Yeah, they're like they still have vanity.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm just there has been,
we still gotta look at it with the same scrutiny we would anyone else.
right.
Brandon.
I will say between the amount of astronauts, really smart people, scientists that have sent up a different, like Sputnik and all of these, right? The Hubble, all of that, okay? And then also the amount of fighter pilots and people that are up in the atmosphere here, you know, that have had sightings. We cannot just simply say, too, that none of them are actually... you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that all of them are true sightings by any means, because I think that some of them definitely might have been an issue that person was having, or some of them might be for notoriety reasons, but I think that at least 50% of them probably were true sightings of something that they can't explain.
Yeah, you had too many guys that were highly trained that, yes, given a certain day and everything else, maybe their oxygen supply was not what it needed to be. They were in some kind of climb that the G-forces were acting on. But you can't have that many that have seen that many things and not have at least a little bit of it be potentially true.
And I have no doubt in my mind that there are certain people that definitely heard or saw things in space. I mean, and like I said at the beginning, we haven't explored space enough to know what the hell is out there. We don't know what's out there. I mean, it is vast. It is gigantic. We are just at the very, very surface of space.
I know what's out there.
Peanut butter.
Stuff and things. Yeah. Well, it's like anybody trying to tell you that an alien race, absolutely, there's 100% no way that one could ever exist. And you're like, I mean, if you think about the amount of suns and the amount of planets and the likelihood of another one not existing somewhere is actually more improbable than one existing somewhere.
By the laws of probability, there are over 1 million different races across the universe.
Oh, there would have to be. There would have to be, based on just probability alone. Now, if we take into the habitable zones and all this other crap, sure. But I would say that there is 1 million that are carbon-based life forms. Okay?
But is that just in this universe, or is that across the multiverse?
Right.
Oh,
but
multiverses. Oh no.
Yeah. Like what? Like we think of aliens as having to be somewhat similar to our construction. We think of them as it has to have water, it has to be on a habitable zone, they have to have this, they have to have that in order to evolve. All of these things would have needed to happen. Well, who's to say that there isn't a silicone-based life form that lives in the middle of Jack Nowhere? Like, there could be thousands of things out there that we just can't even see half of them. Like, who knows?
Right.
Oh, whoa, what is that?
I found a silicone-based life form in the chat.
Oh, God.
No.
Friend, no, like, you're right. Friend, my thing is, what weirds me out the most is the amount of technology we have advanced.
Like you're talking our camera systems, our spy system, everything.
Our audio.
Yeah, we have pretty good audio systems.
Yeah. And yet 4 years ago, we still lost contact with one of our satellites for over 4 months.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
So, where was that satellite? What was it doing?
Facing the moon and tracking it.
Right. No, but you know what I mean. Like, where?
Well, that's what it was doing.
Yeah. That's creepy. I don't like it. Aliens freak me out. I gotta be honest. Like, most aliens kind of freak me out a little bit.
Well, you gotta look at it this way, too. Like, we did 17 Apollo missions. 6 of which were lunar.
Lunar missions, yeah.
Where we actually were able to get at least there.
Yeah.
If not on to the surface. And then we stopped.
Yeah. Why did we stop?
Why
haven't we gone
years.
back?
Yeah. And
because the economy was in the tank.
But the thing is, we started talking about it again. Because we had 2 billionaires say we're going back. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but the talk has dropped.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not going back.
There's got to be a reason that we don't.
And then we get a new eccentric billionaire every once in a while saying, well, we'll go back and we'll put a fucking hotel on it.
Or something weird, yeah. Well, now they've moved to Mars, okay? So they talked about the moon for years, and what we can mine on the moon, what we can grow on the moon, what we can do with the moon. And then they're like, you know what? Nah, let's check out Mars. Let's move over to another planet here and see what we can do with this.
Yeah. I think it's about boredom. That's what I think. Like the new fad, the new thing to keep people interested, to keep the money coming in.
Well, what do you guys think about the moon being hollow?
No.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I've heard enough of the ancient alien stuff, I watched an episode on that, and it was like, seems like a lot of work for an alien species to just throw up create an artificial moon to use as a watch station over us to observe us.
Yeah.
Now, see, I have a weird theory about that, but it has nothing to do with it being like an alien watch station or anything like that. But what if it was just a giant geode? So technically it would be hollowish on the inside, but it's just a giant geode rock formation.
I mean, it's possible, but it's like kind of, don't they move around or something?
What? Geodes?
Yeah.
Not really. You can have one that has solid outlining and then just a little crystallization on the inside. But the actual center of your geodes are always hollow.
Oh, okay.
The issue is...
Not always.
The moon is locked.
Well, it's tidally locked, yeah.
Yes. The issue with that I would have is the geode would have to be perfect on the inside.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Otherwise, we would see variations in distance with gravity forces.
Yeah, that would be true. Well, and you know that the dark side of the moon is, like, way thicker than the light side of the moon, right?
No, we didn't see it.
Okay.
What do you mean thicker?
I mean, the crust is thicker. Like, if you actually, look at it, the moon, you got one side of the moon that's got a way thinner crust, and the other side has a way thicker crust.
I would like to know how the fuck we know that.
Density, buoyancy is everything else.
Because we didn't drill it. No, but if you don't actually drill it, you don't know for sure.
Oh, you do, though. There's, tests and shit you can do to make it.
Not without that drill.
Okay.
Friend. That's literally the only way to know for sure. We don't even know actually what's at the center of our Earth for sure.
Yeah. It could be a, crazy monster, in that, Pacific Rim movie.
No, but, it could be a total new metal that we don't even know exists.
Yeah.
Friend. there is so much we don't actually know just about our own planet and moon. Mm-hmm. That it's unbelievable. We can't actually, and they've proven this in every show that they make about it. They can't actually guarantee when the moon was made.
Yeah, no. They don't know. They don't know when it actually coalesced together or whatever. And they don't really know how it coalesced together. There's like 15 different theories on how that happened. So...
Because it's too perfect. It doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing about the perfect moon, too, is it wasn't always, though.
How you know?
Well, like, if you go off of... No, if you go off of the fact that the moon moves away from Earth at, like, I think it's almost an inch every so many years. I can't remember how far it moves and when. But the moon supposedly started out way closer to Earth, and over the course of millions of years, it moved further and further and further away. So at one point, a million years from now, that moon is not going to cause, like, eclipses the way that it does now. So it was not formed perfectly. If you have any kind of sphere with any other kind of sphere, and you move it a specific distance, it's going to cover it. So we just happen to be in the time period that they are close enough that they're covering each other. But a million years from now, you're not going to see a full solar eclipse.
Interesting.
That is, if anyone's still here to see it to begin with.
Right. Probably not.
Yeah, none of us are going to be here. None of us are going to, like, see that shit. But, I mean, if we had, like, one of those old school time machines with the click, 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 click thing, where the guy hit his head on it, moved million, bazillion years into the future.
You mean the time machine?
Yes, that one. Mm-hmm. Then, by that point, you wouldn't have the eclipses that we have now. We just happen to be in the time period where it worked out because of how far it's moving away and how far the sun is away. Like, if you went and you were on Jupiter and the Earth was moving different distances, you would have an Earth eclipse of the sun based on what level of distance you were away from it.
All right, well...
Yeah.
John is sitting in the chat posting dumb shit.
Hey.
Oh, the dinosaur eye?
No. Two before that.
Oh.
Friend, he has a flat Earth diagram.
Yeah, it's real.
Friend.
Okay.
I love the Spaceballs YouTube one.
I love it. Friend,
It says you are dumb. Somebody wrote you are dumb.
yeah, that was to his flat Earth one. Friend.
So, you know, I still like my theory on flat Earth. That flat Earth, yes, flat Earth could totally and fully be real. Okay? It's just like a quarter. When you take a quarter and you spin it on a surface, and it spins so fast that it looks like it's round.
Can I
That's
tell you
what's
something?
up.
Do you know what my hope for you? You know what my hope for you is, and all the other people that think that is. When it finally stops, you're on the side that lands down.
Can you imagine? Where would that lay? You'd just be. Oh,
like,
no, it is true, though. I mean, like, we got a lot of... And science changes. Science changes so much. Like, if you think about the fact that we used to be the center of the universe. Oh, wait, never mind. Now it's the sun. Okay? Like, all of this stuff. It just... Give it another couple thousand years and there won't be...
But that's the problem. Have you ever noticed that in all this... Okay, we don't go backwards.
Flat earthers. We went backwards.
We don't. We do not. Those are not fucking humans that are saying that. Friend,
well, they're not my people either.
Well, they are a lower entity. Right. They have gone back. You're right. Friend, on the file of evolution, they went backwards.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but we have gone backwards. You cannot say that we have not gone backwards.
Okay.
Because, even it depends on what philosophy you actually live by.
The intelligence one.
But no, if you go off of biblical philosophy, if you live a biblical life, then we've gone backwards, and we've gone backwards several times. We built all the way up to Sodom and Gomorrah, and then it was destroyed. We built all the way up to all of this stuff, and
Not
then
that
Noah,
kind of backwards.
we've gone backwards.
Not that kind of backwards. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, what are you talking about?
When we believe that, the sun, believe that the sun is the center of the universe, or center of our galaxy.
Center of our galaxy,
the
yeah.
solar system.
Yeah.
That the Earth revolves around the sun.
Okay.
We did not go back from that.
No, because we haven't gotten to a point where we have been pushed far enough back that we would have to go back from that. But it doesn't mean that somebody hasn't already thought of the fact of all of these things, and some catastrophe or something happened and we ended up starting over. And if we started over, then yes, people could go all the way back to believing that the Earth was the center of the freaking universe.
Well, if you've watched any Italian post-apocalyptic movies from the 80s, you'd know that is a real possibility, because that's what they prescribed to it. That the assumption is that within 30 years of any nuclear holocaust or asteroid hitting Earth or some kind of global catastrophe, that we forgot that how to read books. Mm-hmm. We became in again. Although there's sects of these, really super intelligent humans that I guess, the scientists and stuff that hit out. But then they just sell it. So, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, though. If you think about, even in our, let's say, non-modern or but modern times, I don't know how to put that, in ancient times, we had technologies that we've lost since then. Things that they could do, things that they knew how to do, that we have no idea how they did them.
Like what?
What?
Greek fire?
I can do that, I just don't want to.
Certain things that we just don't
I
know how to
absolutely
do.
can. I can set any Greek on fire. You just give me 5 seconds in a match.
Okay, but I'm
told that's not how it works.
Okay, Megal.
Yeah.
And we figured it out in 2008. We set their entire monetary system on fire.
Okay, what about mega building? Okay, we could not do a pyramid today that would fit the specs of the pyramid back then, even with
that's right
our machinery.
Better.
Okay, so we do lose information as years go by. We just do.
We don't lose information, Kayla. That's not the thing. We forget it because it's no longer needed. Mm-hmm. Think of how big the pyramids are.
Yeah.
Now think of how big the Space Needle is.
Mm-hmm.
The size dimensions are the same.
Well, I mean the height dimensions, maybe.
No, the height's bigger on the frickin' Space Needle itself. We have buildings that are way taller than that, have just as much space in them, and are completely open. We no longer need giant 8-foot thick walls. They're glass.
I hear you. No, I mean, I get it. With the invention of different things like steel and stuff like that, then we moved on into a new revolution of stuff. Instead of rocks, we started using
But we're doing things that they couldn't have done in their day because it wasn't physically possible.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
They didn't have the physics to do it at that point.
But I think what she's saying is that you're like we've lost things over transitioning through time that were kind of really cool and important to be able to do and build as humans, right?
But that's because they no longer are important.
Right. But what I'm saying is, so if we move forward, let's say 2,000, 3,000 years into the future, okay? Well, then the shit we have now is going to be obsolete. Like, based off of that, right? So, who's to say that our philosophies on the way everything works wouldn't also be obsolete? You know what I'm saying? Like
Socrates.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter because the robots are going to be running everything anyway because AI is going to just destroy us in a couple of years.
No, they're fucking not. You shut the fuck up. That ain't happening.
I could totally see it happen.
We're not letting it happen.
It's going to be another, oh God, what is that? Terminator situation? Skynet.
Skynet, yeah.
I think I think they call that Starlink, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. That would make sense. He'd be the one to start it. It'd be Elon.
Yeah.
Me and Kayla actually watched one the other night that it's the first one I've seen in a long time where, yes, they go haywire. Yes, they start killing everybody and they try and kill everybody. But the humans are able to fix it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that movie. I did watch that.
And by the end of the movie, they're all living in peace again.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually weird. What was it? Atlas?
Atlas.
It's got Jennifer
Lopez.
Yeah. That lady. And it is actually a really good movie.
It was a good movie. It was a really good movie, actually.
Very well done, but and now I actually want one of the AIs.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I want an AI.
Because it's like a full exoskeleton suit that you wear, but it has a mind of its own, too, that you link up with.
See, all I would worry about...
Yeah, I remember that clip. Yeah.
The only thing that I would worry about with, like, AI and integration of AI and everything else is that we'll lose the human in humanity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're cyborgs are, yeah.
Right, like...
They're headed to putting implants in our brains that we can control we'll be able to access the internet from just our thoughts.
Yeah, what was that? What was that old movie? It was like Gattaca or something like that, where we like mechanically engineered our children to be the best of the best, and like took only the good genes and made them all like perfect people.
Yep.
Yeah, like at some point we are going to go so far in the wrong direction that way that we're going to lose individuality, we're going to lose humanity, and we're just going to be basically, we could destroy ourselves because we're going to be the robots. It's not going to be...
Gotcha, yeah. Good point.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, what?
When we lose our emotions, we're no longer human.
Right, and like, there's a lot of people that think that this is like a...
Whoa. Just because we haven't figured out how to put emotions into AI yet doesn't mean we won't.
No, and I get that. I get that too, but I mean, the Greys have been trying to do this for years because they fucked up and lost all their emotions, right? So how do they do that? Well, they grab another species that still has emotions, and they do all kinds of experiments to figure out why they still have emotions. Okay, so 10,000 years from now, we could be that race going out there and trying to figure out how to become human when all we had to do is just not fuck with it in the first place.
Yeah, good point.
Because, I don't know. I get really weirded out about all of these things where they, like, start splicing DNA with different shit, and we start making creatures that aren't actually real, and, like, all of this stuff. Because that's just one... Yeah, it's just one step closer to our own demise. Yeah.
Well, it's like the Jurassic Park movies tell you exactly, because what happens every time they open the park back up? They got somebody trying to weaponize the damn things.
Right.
Or somebody wanting to get access to them so they can weaponize the damn things. So, yeah, we're going to breed a bunch of velociraptors? Are you telling me that we get a woolly mammoth going, that Russia's not going to be trying to breed a bunch of velociraptors and put, like, the smart chips in their brains and have them, like, run battlefields and just, yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, every time we make some awesome advance in scientific anything, some dumbass takes it and makes a super weapon. Like, it's just the way it's gonna work.
Sorry.
Right.
Like, look, we found atomic energy, something that we could have forever and wouldn't cost as much as this and wouldn't whatever. What do? We make a giant fucking bomb out of it. Like, woo.
Hey, we got all this energy we can produce, and it's just going to make life so much easier. Oh, we just blew up Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Right.
Like,
Whoops.
better are the options in that case, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I don't know. Like, I think we have the potential to do it the right way.
Oh, absolutely.
And if we can just...
We just lack the intelligence to use it properly.
No, that's not completely
That's a
true.
good point.
We have the intelligence. We just have to put them actually in charge and stop letting billionaires be in charge. I mean, like, this week we have another billionaire who said he's going to go to the Titanic to prove the last one was just dumb luck.
Yeah, he's building a submarine to go to the Titanic to say, look, those guys, it just happened. I don't know why, but...
No, he's not.
Jesus.
He is not building a submarine.
No, he's going down there to prove that it's not as dangerous as people think.
And
this
he
is what's
bought
gonna
one of
happen.
their subs to do it.
Ah, okay. All right, I got you.
Right. Well,
Oh, that's one less billionaire we have to worry about.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, so my daughter told me about this morning. Isn't this guy from Dayton, Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where I am.
right?
You should be friends with him real quick.
Yeah. Just
It's really weird.
Like, before he leaves.
Get on his
no,
good
just
side
marry him before he leaves.
And hitch a ride.
and get his way to you.
You get yourself into that will.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Become
that
his-
summer was that Ocean Gate, those or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
That's out of it. So that's
Yeah.
coming back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And though he bought one of theirs.
Oh, great. Yep. That's it. One less billionaire.
Right?
I think that this the person on here, what is it? All of a sudden now, brain fart. Discord won, and they have a very good point. What will happen?
Yeah, that's John. For,
Oh, okay. That is really a good point. That's because that's what's going to happen, probably.
Right? You know, his first, 4 runs might be fine.
There is another possibility.
What's that?
It hits the Titanic because they lose control because the controller loses connection.
That is true.
I know, right? That is very true.
And then they actually float to the top slow enough that they don't lose pressure. But then they sink right back down because they friggin' start taking on water. There are so many things that could happen in this.
Right. The likelihood is the thing is
But-
just going to implode, honestly.
Yeah, well, no, the number one thing that could happen is like what I said, where they start losing power and
Well,
they could
the
destroy
other
a monument.
thing, it was like a horrible catastrophe that was not too long ago. Wasn't that like last summer or something?
1 year ago.
Yeah, 1 year ago. So he
Yeah,
was
what
planning on
happened
doing it,
then?
on their anniversary.
He announced on the 1 year anniversary.
So, on the 1 year okay.
He announced that he was doing this.
What happened to the other people? It exploded somehow, right?
It imploded.
It imploded and it killed them all, yeah.
But it took
Wasn't
several
someone
days.
famous on there?
There were a lot of famous people. They were all,
There was 5
multimillionaires.
people, and they were all billionaires. But the guy who actually wanted to do the mission, he brought his son. He brought his 17-year-old kid.
Who absolutely had no desire to go in the first place because he was scared of it. And, well,
He took a Rubik's Cube with him. Because he was bored. Friend.
Wow. I'm stunned by that.
right?
Yeah.
Holy God.
And
Yeah, it's awful.
so they were down there, They had just got there, and exactly what I said, except for they were already stopped, so nothing happened. They lost control.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were using...
like Arctic Cat's controller.
Yeah, a Mad Cat's controller. Like an Xbox controller type thing.
Oh.
That's what it was being steered with.
Oh my god.
It wasn't even a Xbox controller. It was made by Microsoft. It was.
Was it the Microsoft one?
Mm-hmm. It was their cheap, like, offline version thing.
I can't remember the version or the company.
But yeah, it's something like Mad Cats or something. I don't know.
It was very cheap.
Yeah.
But the stupid part is, like, the weird shit that we've seen in space, it is about to get a whole lot weirder.
Why is that?
Why?
Because now we're doing the same thing in space.
Oh yeah, we are doing privatized space travel.
You have $1 billion, you can go to space. Why not?
Yep.
Well, I mean, that guy's already kind of been doing it. So, right? Like that.
Well,
the two rich guys that were trying to, race themselves to space.
But they were taking astronauts.
Yeah, this is anybody. Like, I could go to space if I had $1 million to go.
Now you just got to buy a seat.
So,
yeah,
you've got 3 of them. You got Virgin Galactic, but they only go to the edge of space. They're not technically they're in space, but they're not really in space
until they lose control.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other 2, I don't think they've taken anybody but real astronauts, right?
Not yet. Not yet. They're trying to figure out all the little glitches and stuff so that they can make space travel accessible and eventually have it be just as ordinary as air travel.
So yeah, they're talking about. I've seen in more than one place where they've come up with this space elevator thing. Well, there'll be a cable that go all the way from space back down to Earth, and you'll just get in an elevator, and it takes you all the way up.
Yeah, they have talked about the space elevator.
The pressure? I mean, that couldn't be possible with the pressure. I mean, the elevation sickness that I get now, going to like the Grand Canyon is immense. Like Denver, Colorado area. Jeez, can you imagine that?
You'd be in a pressurized. I'm sure the elevator would be pressurized, so you would be. You would not suffer from the same effects that you would normally. It would be. There would be some way around where you would get ear popping like you'd get on an airplane.
Except for the biggest problem that they're having with the space elevator, because they have been talking about the space elevator for years, is the fact that our planet rotates. So to have the platform, it would have to be a rotating platform that would rotate with it at the same exact, because even with...
I'm just thinking if you jump off, you end up in China.
Yeah. Because even with, like, everything else, it would have to... Those measurements and those everything would have to be so exact, it wouldn't even be funny.
Right.
But with the AI and everything now, at the rate they're going, they'll be able to do the calculations, and it'll be just like zip-you-do-die.
Yeah, eventually, for sure.
Within the next... But it could be within the next 10 years. It could very easily be at the rate they're going.
Yeah, that is true. We have a lot. But then you gotta... the thing that I would worry about, I would never get on that space elevator, because I would honestly worry about micrometeors. Like, one of them hits that cable, and you're completely screwed.
Well, she's got a great point, yeah.
Bye! Right?
Well, you could always have a run-in with Scotty.
Right? Exactly. I'm like, I don't like all this new weird technology that we're trying to get at here, because half of it honestly just doesn't make any sense.
So that's the thing, though. They would be using technology that we are just starting to run with. Like, there would be a metal cable in the center. Mm-hmm. The elevator itself wouldn't touch the cable.
Yeah, like, I guess if we got, like, some of the technology or anything like that. But the problem is that we have been pushing the envelope of technology for so long that at some point, and this happens every time we try to make any scientific advancement, and it's going to, okay? You're going to have horrific accidents and horrible shit happen for the first, 100 years of using this. Mm-hmm. Before they figure out all that.
We now have the technology to actually do it. Because we have a train that does it in Japan.
Yes. But the liability, the everything else of it, it's going to take generations before it would be usable by your average everyday person.
We said the same thing.
So how many people have died before that?
Yeah, you are right. We did say the same thing about quite a few different things.
That's the thing. You get a company like SpaceX with a man like Elon Musk, who is willing to go through enough of the elevators to do every test run.
Yeah,
he can.
That is
before
true.
He puts a human being in it.
That is true. I mean, we do have enough eccentric billionaires now that...
Like, you guys got to remember, he almost bankrupted every business he owns till he actually made it to space.
Yeah, that is true. He was on his last, $1 million in his last run when his rocket returned.
Friend.
Yeah.
So
now, who's the other guy though? Because there's two of them. There's
Bigelow
and the other guy.
Bigelow.
No, not Bigelow. Friend. Amazon. Bezos
was doing it for a while. Bigelow was doing it for a while.
Bezos is still doing it.
Yeah.
They do supply missions only. They don't send people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still working on the human side of things, and it's.
I don't know if they ever will.
Yeah, he just wanted to be the supplier for space, just like Amazon was a supplier for Earth.
He is. Yeah. Amazon does supply the space station.
Well, I'll be damned.
It's just not same day delivery.
Oh,
so.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Earliest he can do is 3 days. But what do you do?
But that's only if you have a Prime account.
The one astronaut on the fucking ship that doesn't have a Prime account, he doesn't get his stuff for 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to wait for the $10,000.
That'll be $4.99 shipping.
Right.
But it'd be $499 because, it is space.
God.
And they gotta cover the rest of the shipping, for all the other stuff too. So.
Oh, I'd be so pissed if I was that one broke astronaut. Damn it!
I would totally order pizza in space, Robert.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Absolutely.
Would it be frozen pizza?
It wouldn't.
It'd be moldy by the time I got up there.
Not if it was DiGiorno.
I hold it up towards the sun. So that should warm it enough.
This is like trying to cook pizza over a fire.
Put it in front of the Hubble.
Yeah. Okay. We've done this before. It didn't turn out great.
If we use the Hubble to cook the pizza, I think we can do this.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Now talk about alien bacteria being on your pizza. What did you use? Cosmic rays. Come on. This is a horror movie waiting to happen.
Yeah. I agree.
Revenge of Pizza the Hut.
Well, is there anybody anything else that we haven't mentioned too about any other stories in space? About
looking into it this week, there isn't that much actually out there that isn't just repeats.
It seems like it. Yeah, when I was trying to search for things.
Yeah, I found pretty much the same stories that you brought up, and that was all I found anywhere.
Yeah. It is a lot of repeat information revolving around Aldrin and then revolving around the minutes we lost the lunar missions.
Yeah.
Audio, but my issue with that is we only lost them they weren't even on the surface yet. By the time they got to the surface, our communication problems were over.
Yeah.
Well, I
Right.
mean, communication problems were always a thing. You're talking about 1960s technology, and they're doing things and going places that they'd never even tried to do this sort of stuff before. So,
Oh, you're gonna have glitches
Don't
for sure.
fucking even.
God.
In the 60s, they
Yeah.
already had doors that moved by themselves, communicators, transporters. I saw this shit on TV.
Star Trek does not. It's not real.
Don't tell me that.
Whoa, bro.
Oh,
Might be real.
Spoiler alert. For
Shatner thinks it's real at this point. I'm sure. So.
That's okay. I'm
No.
pretty sure that, according to a lot of people, nothing is real because we're all living in a simulation, anyways. So,
Actually,
Yeah.
Shatner is a very huge advocate for realism. Mm-hmm. He did an interview with Ancient Aliens, and
ripped them apart.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty hilarious. If anybody gets a chance to watch that, go for it.
he got to the point where he actually asked George Stropadomoulos, or whatever the hell his name is,
Yeah.
if he
Big
was
hair
fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, okay, first of all, are you insane? And second of all, what degree do you actually have? Or are you just a guy that sits here and looks at alien stuff and says that must be what it is? Like, it was actually pretty great. I was like, that's awesome.
And
Go
then
Shatner.
He was one of the first people on the Virgin plane, or Virgin spaceship.
Yep.
And before the thing, he said, I think I'm going to shit my pants. And then when he came back, his interview was, I didn't shit my pants, but I will never do that again.
Yeah.
wow.
He said it was the most terrifying thing he's
You're
ever
right.
done. And he does not like the feeling up there.
Many are scared of space or not happy with space.
Hey,
Right?
That's
I get it.
because
I mean, there's a big...
Glenn, the one that they he went up and they wouldn't let him come. They wouldn't let him go back again until he was 77. And or is that Armstrong?
That was John Glenn.
Okay.
Yeah, John Glenn went up like 77, 78, somewhere. I think he went up like twice after he was already. So yeah,
Yeah.
went up 2 times after he was in his 70s. So just pretty
Yeah.
good.
Robert,
Yeah.
Robert, that meme says the wrong thing on her sign. It should not say Kirk was here.
No.
No, it should say Kirk came here.
Wow. So hilarious.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Comedic genius.
You're so funny. I'm sorry. Oh,
Maybe stop saying your name.
Stop and think. It's 2 a.m. here. I'm like what?
right.
Oh.
Now there is a lot of weird stuff about like some of the cosmonaut missions and about some of the stuff that were secretly done supposedly by the cosmonauts. Like
Well,
all
a
of
whole
these.
bunch of them come back. They've died. They never even made it.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
floating out there.
Right,
we
but
know.
like
Well,
it's
hold on. Are
so
you saying that with air quotes?
well, it's so wrapped in like mystery and stuff. Like you don't know what's actually real and what's not when it comes to that because it's so secretive. And then it's like little bits and pieces that are leaked like 60 years later. Like it's just
Yeah.
so you got to take that all with a grain of salt.
Yeah, like how
too.
many of them did the KGB just get rid of?
Yeah.
Well, it's sad because they don't want us to know anything because we might get their technology and then, like, they're just so paranoid about it. It's just like you're not helping anybody.
Well, it's so funny because their technology sucks. So
Right.
they've proven time and again that I don't understand why they think they've got this super. We for years. I remember watching.
They
movie.
stolen our technology.
Yeah. Well, they had to because their technology sucked. I watched a movie
Yeah.
called Firefox as a kid. and it was about this Russian super plane that could go like Mach 5, and
Clint Eastwood's movie.
Huh?
I said Clint Eastwood's movie.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's movie. Yep, and it was loved it. But we lived under this notion that the Russians were like, oh, they were so much superior. They were superior to us in every way. By the end of Vietnam, we'd already smoked them and all their fighter jets. We were done. There was, in most of their equipment, even now in Ukraine, their pilots are having to use like their phones to figure out how to get to the target because their GPS doesn't work in their aircraft. Mm-hmm. Their boats are outdated. Their ships, all of it's junk. And the only thing they've got going for them is, well, they still have nuclear missiles, and even if half fire, it'll still do the job. But the Russians are not the big bad that everybody thinks they are when it comes to technology. So they inflated sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what would make me laugh?
Like that female crew.
Well, you know what would make me laugh? If it's like a freaking Wakanda situation where, like, the Russia we see is
all dismembered and poor
and then like somewhere in Siberia there's a city of the future where they got flying cars and friggin' insane technology that none of us could ever imagine,
like the show Eureka.
Yeah And like they're not actually part of the Russian government anymore. They just left and did their own thing,
right? But
it is Russian technology.
See Rasputin's still alive.
Rasputin's hanging out. Yeah.
Jump on us. They most certainly got to jump on us in the space race, but that's mostly because we were too busy worrying about the military applications of the We weren't worried about putting people in this space.
Well, if we realistically look at modern day rocketry and everything else that goes with it, it's von Braun, and he was not a Russian, he was not an American, he was a German scientist.
He was a Nazi.
And he came over on that whole Project Paperclip thing, and he is the reason NASA excelled in anything in the beginning. Exactly. So all of the technology, all of that, everything else, none of it originally came from them in the first place. Because the Russians did the same thing at the end of the war. They took in a whole bunch of German scientists, and they helped them with their rocketry program while other German scientists were helping us with our rocketry program. So really, it was basically the Germans versus the Germans.
Just which Germans are smarter?
Yes.
Well, not spiel about. All right.
And I mean, like, really, if you think about it, most of our, what you would call real, true geniuses, how many true geniuses have come from the U.S. or from Russia? Most of them are from European countries. Most of them are from, like, Croatia or, like, they just check. There is a lot, and then,
this guy.
How much
this guy right here.
France, Italy.
Number one genius in the U.S.
On for the Nazis had Hitler not had that whole thing with the Jews. Because if he doesn't get rid of the Jews, then Einstein and all his people stay put. They have nuclear weapons.
Than Einstein.
They're way behind
He agrees.
Yep. So, stupid.
Okay. I gotta address this. John is saying he is the number one genius in the U.S. You do realize that's like saying you're number one in the Special Olympics, right?
Hey.
You're still special, buddy.
I can still be number one.
But I don't.
You can be number one, but don't go number two.
Damn.
You know, I honestly think that science, in some ways,
sucks.
No, it just got in the damn way.
What?
Yes.
It got in the way.
Of what?
Okay, like if you think about the type of people that we were back in the day, with all of the spirituality, with all of the different religions, with all of the different everything else, okay? And then we decided that was wrong, and we should judge people based off of the fact that we know better than these people do.
Kayla just misses the orgies.
Oh, God. No, but I mean, like,
oh, God, do I ever.
If we would have let people evolve on their own timelines, okay? Instead of forcing a bunch of shit on everybody. If we would have let them just, okay, so the spirituality and the spiritual people, you can excel that way.
So what you're saying is segregate people.
I'm not saying segregate people.
but on thin lines, this is segregation.
Well, it is. It would.
Wait, but what do you mean by like?
No, she's saying separate equal.
Just separate the people that aren't equal to the white man. We get it, Mom.
Okay. No, but like what I'm saying is like let them do what comes naturally to them to do. Don't expect everybody to follow the path that you need them to follow. Like, just because that's the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we would have just left people alone to do, like, to experiment with this, and this in their own terms, and then you could experiment with this in your own terms, whatever, we wouldn't...
Okay, but when should we have started that? Because like, if we would have started that in 1939, there wouldn't be a Jew left in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. But there would be if we just left people alone. That was the point in the first place.
Know. You can't get everyone to do it.
Yeah,
right there, Hitler was doing his own thing,
and then that's a whole.
Which is exactly what you just said you wanted to do.
Because then you're letting the spiritual tribe that is over here and say that in their practice they believe sacrificing children brings them good health. Would you allow that? Because there was tribes that did sacrifice their own children to bring good health and a good harvest.
That's more like wrong.
That's a whole morally thing.
Yeah, well then you get your morals in there too, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
It depends, like, are you talking about culture or are you talking about, like, technology?
You can give us a good harvest, huh?
Well, I mean, I guess they kind of honestly would have to go hand in hand there.
Yes,
because you can't have one without the other unless, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, I've always been like a peace and harmony type of person where I'm like, I don't give a shit what this person does as long as they're not like destroying a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My mom would be like always funny because she'd be like, who cares? I'll never see this person again.
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, it's a good kind of mentality, And I'm older, I'm like, I don't care either.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there were a lot of like horrible sacrifices and terrible shit that happened too. So
I don't
you
see
gotta take
anything
that
wrong with
into.
this picture. It looks like he's giving him a Kool-Aid bath. Isn't that nice of him?
Yeah, that's what Heaven's Gate said too, honey.
Hey.
Yeah.
The Kool-Aid was free.
Yeah,
they cannot complain.
Oh, what the guy that...
I'm just saying, you got free Kool-Aid, you got free housing, you got free robes.
That reminds me of
got a free
another South Park episode. Come on, we got punch and pie.
Just saying, got a lot of free stuff. You just got to give it one thing.
Your life.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh, food.
That's it. You know what? I've decided I'm just gonna become like Amish and go live on a.
You can't have to be Amish before.
Mom, you cannot survive one day as being an Amish because you'll die without your medicine.
No coffee, no cigarettes, no medicine.
You're gonna die in a week.
Oh man. But it would be the best, most freeing week. No,
you would be and by the third day, you're no longer peaceful.
Yeah. No, I know. By the third day, I wouldn't love not sleeping because I didn't have my TV on at night. I think I would be dead.
No medicine.
No, no medicine. You would.
Well, I know that. No medicine. I'd
be. To me, I'm out.
I'd
You'd
be dead
eating
too.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would bring a whole new. Whoa.
Caffeine's the devil.
Whole new meaning to you are what you eat.
You know, I gotta
That's
be
not a new
honest.
meaning. That's quite old.
Oh. That could be like a low-budget horror movie.
And you could give out free egg salad. Egg salad.
So funny.
I don't.
I'm
Well, have
pretty
you guys
sure.
seen that NASA thing that I was talking about earlier? That unexplained one?
So we haven't gotten that far into that show. We have an issue with the person's voice.
Oh. Really?
So yeah, because we only watch space stuff to go to sleep to.
I'm a real audio person.
Oh.
And
So
voices.
if their voice grates either one of us, we can't watch it. Like Kayla has to watch the William Shatner narrated one by herself.
Yeah, and I can't go to sleep to that because his voice won't let me. Like, it's something about certain people's tones and certain people's structure of their... I don't know. It just bothers me, so I can't...
I can see him. That would kind of bother me if I was trying to go to sleep, yeah.
But
I
like-
don't remember the tone of the other one as much. I haven't seen it for a while. But I started taping it, and I mean, I got hooked. I was just binge watching so many episodes. It's just like next. What I like about it is it kind of has so many different kind of like, instances, like little mini episodes in one episode kind of thing. So it's kind of cool for anybody who's out there too. I mean. And I think that right now, like I even taped some kind of Pluto. Have you guys seen like this Journey to Pluto or something that just taped about Pluto the other night on Hulu? I have to watch that one. It's a documentary all about that.
No, see, like we watched the universe, how the universe was made, and
Unearthed.
And then there's one with Morgan Freeman, but neither one of us knows anything past the first 5 minutes of the first episode. Because his voice just...
His voice is like heavy.
It's a beautiful
I'm like,
thing.
okay. Morgan.
His voice is like a warm hug.
Well, and like, I can't watch like the Cosmos either if I'm trying to sleep because, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson and... I start arguing with the TV because I hate that dude.
That one
like,
makes me go to sleep angry.
I do.
Yeah. Well, why don't you do stuff when you're awake?
There's no freaking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend.
No, I gotcha. It's funny because you guys are saying all these movies that you've seen and stuff, and I'm like, I envy you guys because you have this time. I just like.
So when we're watching a movie, we are doing 5 other things while we're watching it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't have. I will put the TV on and walk around the house and kind of do chores as I'm doing it, that kind of thing, pausing it a million times.
Right,
So-
like I'll be sitting there and I'll be writing something and I'll be working on work stuff and I'll be figuring out numbers and it's in the background, like.
Yeah.
Robert brings up a good question for me, though. So when Pluto was decided that it wasn't going to be a planet more, did they downgrade the dog too?
Well, you don't see him in many Disney films anymore, so yeah, I guess they did.
Those fucking assholes. And he does work with Disney. Okay, you remember when they downgraded Pluto from a planet to a dwarf planet?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Robert put up a picture in the Discord. I wonder if they degraded him as well.
Probably.
Actually, I haven't seen him in anything for a few years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he kind of disappeared the same time the planet did. So
Bastards.
It's a whole conspiracy.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson was part of that. And now he works for Disney.
So does Chris
The guy
Pratt,
who downgraded Pluto?
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
also known as Garfield.
Yeah. Well, the scientist.
Because Cosmos was bought out by Disney.
Oh, okay.
And he is the new voice of Cosmos.
Well, he also does some Imagineering for him.
Yeah, I imagine what will happen if they degrade a planet. Asshole.
Hey, man,
People
well,
are still so mad.
I am. I hate that.
What?
I
Well-
don't know. I really do. I mean, that
That it
was
got
like
downgraded?
Yeah.
that's everybody's
Well,
favorite
it kind of
planet.
deserved it. Had it coming.
And I gotta be honest, there still is a 9th planet out there, though, that we could just rename Pluto once we find it.
Oh, Planet X.
Yeah.
Twitter.
And then we got Pluto back.
Just saying,
Paula's
Pluto
got a
had it
friend-
coming.
Oh, Paula's got a friend that's been warning us about Planet X for the last 10 years. So, yeah, it's coming. It's biblical. It's something. It's it changes depending on the weather or if the prophecy has didn't happen. So,
Okay, so you know what I worry about? Right, they talk about Planet X, right? But they also talk about Nemesis, which is us being a 2-star system, right?
right.
So that's like the secondary star or whatever. So what if Planet X is actually just a brown dwarf? So we are technically in a 2-star system, and that is what causes apocalyptic things every 200,000 years or so, or 200 million or whatever, 65 million, whatever.
Yeah.
Is because of its rotation. So if it is actually like a brown dwarf star, so it would be a little bit colder than Jupiter. I think they get like 78 degrees or something. It's ridiculous. It's like a low temperature, but then technically we would be in a binary system, but it would have the same gravitational effects as supposed Planet X, and if it came close like every so many million years, then yeah, it would pull a whole bunch of like asteroids and shit along its gravitational pull and right like into us.
You prick.
What?
You just 5 minutes ago gave us Pluto back and you just took it away again.
Okay, my bad.
What the hell?
I thought I was the only person who said prick.
No, not at all.
You sure?
Are you a wizard?
Us
Yeah.
Us Canadians.
Motherfucker.
Actually, Rosella, you're going to find me and you will have a lot of the same language quirks.
Why?
I find that people from your area and people from the like the prairies of Canada do have a lot in common with what we say.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I seriously thought this was going to be a because we were both Catholic thing. And I didn't mean any offense to that, but that's where I was going, like, with that, because, like, okay.
Wow.
Sorry, but that's actually, like, where my thought process went. My bad.
Just
That's what I
segregating
was
people
thinking
again.
he was going to say. I was like, that's my God.
It's our whole deal.
No,
Right.
like, okay, how do I... When I watch YouTubers and TikTokers from Ohio, from Wisconsin, Minnesota, I see different towns in the prairies of Canada.
Yeah,
The
it
way
is.
they
It is
talk.
pretty similar.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that when you talk to them, like when you talk to people in Canada, we all have family from your area.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, I have a huge population of Wagleitners spread out in Minnesota and Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So, we're in
Interesting.
mostly
Interesting.
Cleveland.
LeBron James.
That's funny. I was remembering kind of the old movies, like Pretty in Pink and like all those, those classic movies of the 80s. I have a lot of those. That, like The Prick, and like I just said, like Baby Boom, when she's like, when she gets mad at the young guy and she's like, listen to me, you little pisher. Like that. I still say that. And my mom was here a few weeks ago and she's like, all right, little pisher. And I'm like, ha ha, the pisher's back. That's so funny because I'm like, okay, I get all these mannerisms like from your, your parents, but then also they're in those movies.
Right.
I love it. I
Friend.
heard Prick for a long time. I thought I was the one who said it.
It's probably said twice a day in this house to one of my kids.
Not many people say it anymore because it is kind of like, an older thing, an older word.
Like in our house, it was constantly, Dad taught us to use the word dink.
Oh.
And
yeah, dink. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a word like, you're a penis. But we found out that's not what it means.
Okay.
About 2 years ago, we found out it is a derogatory term for a Vietnamese immigrant.
Yeah, so they stopped using that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
No, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither did they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few things in Chinatown make more sense now. Friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I would.
Friend. So, really, Robert? Friend.
Had to.
That's what I was thinking of.
Honestly.
Robert loves Spaceballs.
Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding,
Woman.
ding,
Here it comes back again.
Well,
So, what do you guys... Okay, I want to go back to the elevator thing for a second.
oh, God. Yeah.
Meteors wouldn't be a problem.
Why wouldn't micrometeors be a problem for the elevator?
Okay, we have figured out that we can send things across a long distance fairly fast through electromagnetism.
Yes.
So we can cover that entire cable in titanium casings.
Okay.
Which means a micrometeor isn't going to have the same effect that it would normally on that cabling.
Yeah.
Because that cabling, if you cover it in titanium casing, a cable, it is going to, when it goes through, it hits it, it's not going to deflect.
Yeah.
Because the cable is made out of many smaller cables, right? So it's going to actually penetrate through. Whereas the titanium shielding will more likely deflect it.
Yeah.
Because you're hardly going to have any of them that hit dead on.
Okay.
Now, if you make that shielding out of smaller pieces, anytime it's hit and has a structural integrity problem, you can replace that piece of the casing.
Okay.
Just like we do with the ISS.
But what about all of the forces that would be a problem?
What forces?
Okay, so you got like your gravitational force that would be a problem, right? Because you'd have to go with varying degrees of gravity depending on the section of it. Okay, so you would also have the tidal forces of the sun and the moon.
So you
because there's tidal pulling from both of those.
You would need electrical condensers all the way up.
Like
and
the
at about
tension
every
in
10
itself
feet.
would be like.
But at
horrible.
about every 10 feet, you need electrical condensers to change your electromagnetic frequency in order to off-put the gravity.
Okay, but you would also have all of the debris. Okay, so it wouldn't only be micrometeors, but you'd have to deal with all of the satellites. You would have to deal with all of the excess space junk. You would have to deal with all of that shit up there. There's so much debris around our planet.
It depends on how high you're going.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're only going as high as Virgin, you don't have a problem.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think that there's better options for us getting to space than an elevator.
Plus, supposedly, we are cleaning space soon.
Okay, time out. How in the hell are we going to clean space? Okay.
We have a series of planned missions that are going to attach...
Okay, so we're cleaning our space junk out of our space area and pushing that shit into somebody else's space.
Yes.
Well, somebody's dropping the space shit down on the local populaces around the country. There's been two different instances in the last month where somebody's found a piece of what appears to be space debris. It's all burned up and everything, but it's like a piece. You can tell it's part of a housing for a rocket or something.
Right.
And they are apologizing every time because they say it's an accident.
Yeah, when it lands on your head and kills you, it's no longer an accident.
It's China.
Well.
Okay, but see, that's where I'm going with this, though. Okay, so it would be just like a dump. Okay, we're taking and we're moving shit from our trash cans, our house, whatever it is, right? And we're just centralizing it and squishing it away and hoping that eventually it decomposes, right? So that's all we're doing with the space shit too. We're just taking it and we're throwing it out into space.
Not into space.
Then where?
Into the center.
Into the sun.
Yes.
We cannot do that.
Why not?
Oh my God, this is a terrible, terrible idea.
Why?
Because if you think that we have coronal mass ejections and problems with the sun right now, start throwing a whole bunch of old ass space shit into it and see what the fuck ends up happening. We're gonna end up blowing up ourselves, being stupid.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be okay. It's just gone.
And it actually was originally a plan that's what we would do with Earth's garbage as well.
We're just going to start shoving everything into our own fusion engine. The only thing that's keeping us alive. We're just going to throw a bunch of garbage and shit into it.
I agree.
Apparently, it's not the only thing keeping us alive.
Yeah.
There's another one on the other side.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, to be fair, the same people that were thinking about doing garbage thing were probably the same ones that were thinking, you know what we ought to do? Let's nuke the moon and see what happens.
Right?
Actually,
this is what I'm saying. This is ridiculous.
But just think about it. Who doesn't want to nuke the moon?
Everything. Let's
I mean, if we're going to go there, and we're just going to start dumping everything into the sun, then why in the hell don't we just dump it on Mars, okay?
Because we
and
want
that
to
way,
our second home.
Because that's our place.
Boom.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that way we would already have an atmosphere and everything from these giant heapes of garbage that are exploding all over the planet. We would have just... It'd be great.
Now, there is a viable option that is not the sun, not Mars, but would do a pretty damn good job of taking the trash and just eliminating it pretty much on site.
We can't do that to Pluto anymore. We already downgraded it.
But is it
no, Venus is a place. It's super hot. The atmosphere is in the pressure inside of it. It's like a gajillion times. It's like going to the bottom of the ocean.
Okay,
surface.
So,
this is it.
Collecting any of this stuff is so vast. It's not going to happen.
So all of this, what we're talking about right here, is what created giant cockroach monsters and shit. We are taking garbage. There's definitely some dead rats and some organic material and all of this other shit in our garbage. For sure, there is. Now we're gonna take that and we're gonna eject it into an atmosphere that we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Once that shit all combines. We are going to end up with... Okay, this is how Alien and Predator both started.
That's why we don't do it into Venus. Venus, that's honestly a horrible idea, Rick. I mean, Venus is... It's the planet that represents women. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But Uranus, we could shove all kinds of shit in Uranus.
Uranus.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Doesn't Jupiter have about 1,000 moons? Let's just shoot shit on that. Or
oh my God, there's things living on those moons.
What about Jupiter itself? Let's just look how big Jupiter is. It's got nothing going on. It's a gas planet anyway. Just screw it.
How about we just stop making so much fucking garbage? Okay.
Have you seen the area around your chair?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
But how about we just find a black hole, throw it in there, and then be done with it?
We can't get to a black hole yet.
Oh no.
The sun, then.
That's
you know what? Okay, so I think that this is how our universe actually started. Okay. is some dumbass race a long, long time ago was like, you know what? Let's throw all of our shit and garbage into this black hole and see what happens. Then it was all like, hey, boom, guess what? The universe.
Yeah, but
you're saying we're just someone else's garbage?
Wow.
I'm saying, like, with the way humanity is going, I could see it. Okay. Just some weird organic compounds from another civilization shoved into a black hole and spit out the other side.
So we should do the same. Continue the line.
Yep, we could be creating our own.
It is a better option than what we're doing right now.
Yeah. Polluting our own planet.
I mean, right now, like, New York sends a barge a day out into the ocean.
Yeah, and then they wonder why there's so many, like, fucked up fish out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's stop harming the fish, throw it into space,
and start harming the aliens instead.
Yeah, what did they do for us?
Great.
Who cares about the aliens?
Yeah.
No, we'll avoid them.
Mom, how big is the universe?
Kayla is shocked that you said that, Rick.
I can't believe you don't care about me, Rick.
I'm sorry. Totally forgot. That's right. Oh, yeah, I apologize.
How dare you?
I think you're just mad because we're going to end up hitting your planet with this garbage.
That's what I'm saying, okay?
You know, but think about how big space is. If we just make a planet of garbage, it's not like it's going to affect anything.
And it's been done in movies and worked out well.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so if we just take all of our garbage and make a giant garbage planet.
Yeah, just...
That's what you're saying, John?
Yeah, just have it in one corner of the universe.
And then we put one man on it to keep it.
Yeah. He wins the lottery.
It worked for him.
He gets a planet.
He liked it.
Oh god.
But... No, like...
He started fights
with... Oh my god.
With how big the universe is, we should just, like, throw it in one corner of the universe.
Can you imagine the creepy creatures that would come from our planet's garbage? Like, oh god.
I know,
that would be great.
Yeah.
Huh?
Guys
every action has a consequence, really.
Yeah, but guys would no longer have to fight in MMA. We can just pit these monsters against each other.
Yep.
Oh god.
No, they'll come after us.
That worked so well for the gladiators.
You know, this is what the rats would be doing if we did this.
Yeah, the rats would get their own planet?
Yeah, so you're saying you do not want the rats to have their own planet?
Absolutely not. Can you... Okay.
Wow.
You think Shredder was bad? Can you imagine some mutant-ass rat that's been sucking up UV rays from a foreign sun?
You're going to call Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Get it right.
Oh,
Shredder was not the rat.
Shredder is a human.
I'm
the
sorry.
rat was the good guy. So if we had a planet of good guys, that's bad?
We give him 4 turtles, he'd be happier than shit.
Yeah.
What happened to
They would be superheroes.
I can't even say it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, I want to protest. Chef Boyardee, hear this.
Wasn't Chef Boyardee that made that?
Don't you remember those things?
Yeah, but wasn't Chef Boyardee that made that?
Yes.
Huh.
Interesting.
Cheated.
Wait, is that rat dead or alive?
I do remember those.
They
those
also
noodles,
made Smurfs.
Those
you guys
noodles. Oh yeah.
In Canada, that's what I would always eat in Toronto. Was the Smurf ones?
Yeah,
they didn't have the turtle ones.
And it was special when you got a Gargamel.
Oh my god!
Because the Gargamels always fell apart.
No, I gotta say, I was laughing because earlier I was watching this little reel that was like 90s snacks that we loved that we never see ever again, right? And it had like all of these things rolling, and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot about those. That's amazing!" Like,
and now you're like, "I want it," and you can't have it,
right?
Oh, you
like,
can,
oh, man.
Right?
It's just expensive.
Yeah, you just got to find someone who plans really well, and did in the 90s.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd want to eat half of that now.
Hey, half of it's still
probably
good.
Don't want to have that.
I'm sorry, but like a pudding pop from the 90s is not something I want to like. Ew.
Hey.
Yeah, why don't they make those anymore? That is like not fair.
Right?
Just because Cosby's a jerk doesn't mean you can't enjoy Pudding Pops.
Well,
or like the M&M crisps.
I think the
like
main
the crunchy
reason
M&Ms.
is health concerns.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Right?
Well, okay, so you said you did a lot, like you ate stuff in Canada. Rosella?
Yeah, I lived in Canada for 4.5 years.
Okay, do you remember a pop called Tahiti Treat?
Was it red?
Yeah.
I do I can't remember what it tastes like or anything, but I remember like the can.
It was
on the
like
shelf.
a fruit punch pop.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So you can still buy it because the company still makes 1,000 cans a year.
Oh, wow.
But it's $42 a can for a 12-pack.
Holy God.
Actually, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, I remember like buying those big freezer pop things too because they had like those big thick ones. They were like a yard or something at the gas station. We lived across the street from this huge, like this gas station or something in our condo building.
Costco.
So,
You can still buy those at Costco.
Nice.
And Walmart. Walmart had them last year. Because I still buy those for the kids.
What are they?
like the big blue ones, the blue raspberry, is my favorite, and the white ones.
The freezies.
The popsicle stick.
Oh,
But the ones that are like...
Yeah, the giant freezies.
Yeah.
Did all of you watch Star Wars? Because I recently found something.
I've never seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. You uncultured swine. But this CP3PO have a silver leg?
I don't know who the fuck that is.
C3PO.
C3PO.
Does he have a silver leg?
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Because I remember him having a...
After Cloud, the Cloud Planet.
Yeah, Cloud City, yes.
Cloud City, that's it.
Because
Okay, so after Cloud City, when Chewbacca puts him on, you actually can watch when Chewbacca is picking up the parts. There are two legs sitting beside each other, a gold one and a silver one, and he picks up the silver one, and the gold one goes into the incinerator.
Yeah, but I recently looked it up, and he's never had a silver leg.
Yes, he has.
Okay, this is the Mandela crepe that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
But you just gotta find... You have to find an original VHS copy.
Don't we have one?
Yes.
Yeah, we have one. But you have to get a VHS player because you guys ruined it.
I have one.
Once they move...
By the way,
go ahead.
Fredo shot or Han shot first. So,
Han
yeah.
shot.
Well, yeah. But once they moved them to DVD...
Well, they
no
did all the
longer
digital
looks
enhancements and stuff. And it...
Because it's a dull silver, but it is silver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But once they did the enhancements, it looks gold again.
What did Darth Vader say to Luke during the scene where he was falling off?
No, I am your father.
Yeah, you are
not going to stump me on this crap.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, so
Luke,
we should do a whole show on that instead of this. Okay.
What?
The Mandela effect.
The Mandela effect.
Again?
I like the Mandela effect.
Yeah, but the last time you skipped out on the show.
I did. I was tired and I slept.
Friend, plus next week's already been decided. I just can't. Not next week. The week after has already been decided.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what it is now. I think Rosella might be able to remind me.
Rosella?
We were doing haunted places, like most haunted places
Yes.
in the world, and stories like if we've been there before.
That's right.
That's right. Okay.
Like a public restroom in Seattle. That place is haunted.
Only after you go in it.
Ghosts of our past.
There are demons in this bathroom now.
Oh, man.
Ones that I must never face again.
Friend. Because, aren't you going somewhere this week, Rosella?
Octagon.
I am going, actually, it was June 27th
That's
through
right.
the 30th. going to Kentucky. Like, yeah, they're called both Franklin, Kentucky, and
she's going to the Octagon House. I wanted to go there.
Going to the It was like Franklin, Tennessee, and we're gonna tour a battlefield, 2 wineries actually, and then like a plantation as well, and do a haunted tour too.
Okay.
Nice.
It'll be very packed, and I'm sure that something will happen. But this time, Misty is driving her car. I'm like, okay, I've had enough. You can drive. So, still getting mine checked though before I leave.
Nice.
So I'm sorry. What was it that happened to your car the last time?
So we were literally on the battlefield in Gettysburg, and they were pretty much kind of coming at us. The soldiers, we were on the Confederate side, and we had really pissed them off because we were waiting for this one spirit to come out. Mm-hmm. And my windshield wipers turned on by themselves, and like front and then back went, and then the car like just completely died. And I have like Apple CarPlay, so that started kind of like looking like a TV screen kind of going in and out, you know.
Oh, okay.
And, like I was almost losing a channel. It was really weird. That acted up for about like less than a minute, and then the car just completely went dead.
So the ghost is like EMP'd you. Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah. So we had to call the police. Thank God these 2 nice guys came and jumped the car. But it was an hour of us sitting there. And I could, the things that I can see and that I can feel, it was like horrible. Misty was, she didn't see what was coming at us as much as I did. Where I saw Raphael, the angel who works with me all the time, like putting his hands up and like, you better stay away, like back off, and just kind of holding them off.
Gotcha.
To us. It would have been probably worse.
So that was a little terrifying.
Yeah, I really lost my shit pretty good. I never do, but I saw so much and I knew it was really bad. And if you actually go to my Rosella page, so I have it under my author page and the Haunting Good Time podcast page too. If you go underneath there, you can see my before and after videos. And we had a ton of stuff that happened that entire day. So that was like our 3rd spiritual thing that happened, like haunting spirit.
Interesting.
So it's crazy. We had 2 bathroom ghost instances that happened to me and Misty, like separate, like probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes apart. And then I'm the one who saw the last one before the battlefield, where a female ghost ran through a bathroom door right in front of me.
Oh, wow.
So that was really nuts. Yeah.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, damn it, it's my turn!
What are we in junior high? You gotta beat me to the bathroom? Like, I swear.
Oh, that, or you clean up the ectoplasm.
It was really weird. I was like, this is just very strange. But, I guess, when you gotta go, you gotta go. It was just very, very, very weird. I was trying to look up like a thing for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing, but I cannot find it. Like a label.
Okay.
I looked up cereals, and it's like I just can't find it.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Weird.
It's like I found a label for a pizza. This is funny. A pizza spice and it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's actually kind of awesome.
What the heck, spice? That is funny. Oh, there's a Parmesan cheese too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they made all kinds of things. Like one of the frozen pizza companies made a pizza.
I see that.
That
is actually pretty smart, though.
Yeah, it was still gross.
Yeah.
And then you could buy ooze, and it was just a purple drink.
Ew. Why don't you drink ooze?
I think, I remember that gross. No, it's like, ew.
Well, it's like when they came out with blue ketchup. Ugh.
Did you know that you can still buy, because it's still very popular in some areas, blue milk from Star Wars?
Ew.
What?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I've heard of it.
That sounds disgusting.
Well, don't they sell it at the Disney thing that they've got with the Star Wars theme park that they have there now?
Oh, probably.
I found it.
Yep. So.
Ew.
It's under Pinterest.
I'm not gonna buy no blue milk. That's gross.
I thought that was weird as a kid, and I'm glad I'm surprised. They never thought to actually market that back in the 70s. They marketed everything else. They put everything else as a toy or a lunchbox or stickers or trading cards. They marketed the shit out of that movie. And you're telling me that we couldn't get together with a milk company and come up with blue milk?
There you go, Rosella.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and then the one that I had always was the white one. I don't know. I think I didn't like the meatballs. That's probably why, because my label was white.
Huh.
That I always had.
Ninja Turtle Chef Boyardee.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was so good. It was that, and I would drink. You remember Welch's grape juice? Not the juice, but the sparkling one.
Oh yeah.
That's what I would have for lunch every day with my grandparents when I was staying with them on the weekends. And I'm now that I think about it, how did I drink this this combination of grape soda and Chef Boyardee? Ew.
Great.
Friend,
I'm when you're a kid.
we barely even ever got Kool-Aid. We got Co-op fruit drink.
Right.
Friend. But
sounds like you got the home version.
Yeah, well, no, it was just co-op here means something, in the U.S. means something totally different than co-op in Canada. Co-op is a grocery chain in Canada that also does hardware and fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And lumber. So, but their grocery stores have a whole branding thing from the 80s and 90s that they did for a long time that was supposed to be cheap branding, and eventually they got pushed out by the Great Canadian Superstore brought out their No Name brand, and it just says No Name.
Yeah,
and they're all yellow labels.
Yeah, all of their packaging is black and yellow, and it's black writing on yellow packaging because when you make cardboard, yellow is the cheapest color you can make.
Mm-hmm.
So they everything was packaged in that, and then it just became a fad where you get No Name beach towels where it would actually say beach towel across the beach towel, but it was all yellow. Right.
Okay, so I have to ask. So this Easter, I was looking at the Peeps, right? Because I always get the kids whatever new flavor of Peep came out because it's awesome, and you're yeah, try this weird Peep, right? And this year I went down an aisle and the entire thing was full of Peeps. Okay, there were Peep drinks, there were Peep slippers, there were Peep towels, there were Peep I went and I honestly got myself a giant. Well, Cole got me a giant
4.5 foot
Peep, but I mean, when did we go from having 2 colors of Peeps to
everything's
that
flavor.
much merchandise? And it was merchandise. There were Peep balls and Peep. I was
because they did something that no other company has done, Kayla.
Yeah.
Name another company of Easter candy in the U.S. that literally, still to this day, makes everything in one factory.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
That is the best quality control you can have.
Peep
They've been
lollipop.
making this since like the 90s, I believe.
I'm like, why would you want
These
to
Peeps, they've been making it since the 90s.
Way before that, buddy.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
They came out at the same time the damn candy cane did. I mean, they've been around for a long time.
I just
I don't
don't
know.
understand the flavors, like birthday cake, root beer float. I'm like, ew. These are
Right?
things that I just don't even want. Just give me the standard pink or yellow.
It's like
1953.
I'm
What?
really in the mood to have something different.
What?
1953.
1953. Peeps became Peeps.
Wow.
But, I get, the weird flavors, and I get jumping on the boat of weird flavors and stuff like that. But, classics are classics. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want the classic stuff. I don't need the other crap.
Okay,
My
so
kids don't even want it.
me and my brother will buy each other things that are Peep flavored. Like, they brought out Peeps Pepsi and Peep cereal and stuff like that, just because we don't like each other.
Yo, everybody in my house hates them, okay?
Yeah.
But we get them every year just so they have to try the new flavors. It's great.
Because, me and my brother hated them for years, and Mom always gave them to us every Easter. And she was so proud of herself that she got us our favorite treat. And she knew we hated them. And there are so many Peeps buried in my parents' backyard.
Those things have a half-life of about 1 billion years. It's
Right.
Yeah.
It's
radiation. So yeah.
Well, we know now where to go during the apocalypse. We go to Cole's parents' backyard, and we'll be eating for a few years. Jeez.
You go right ahead. I ain't touching those still.
Can you imagine? Oh, gross. Oh.
My mother will eat a whole container, and I'm like, I can eat maybe 2 at tops, and I'm like, I'm cool, I'm done.
I get down 4 boxes. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say no one in our house likes them. All of our kids like them.
No, I don't know. I don't. You don't.
No.
That's all I know.
And the adults are smart.
Yeah.
Fran.
I think it's the other way around.
Sure. Fran. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are done for the night. Thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you guys for being here. Robert, Rosella, Rick.
Join us next week for Haunted Places.
What the fuck, guys? You all have our names. What the hell? It's like it's planned.
You noticed that. That's cool.
All right. We're changing Nikki's name.
We can't have a Rick and a Ricky. That just doesn't work.
Well, because this Rick is a Ricky technically, so we just don't. I dropped the Y.
We can have Licky.
What?
I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
Wait, no, I didn't mean it like that.
Totally said you were smart.
What rhymes with Ricky?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening. We will be back
Vicky
in 2 weeks. We will not be back next week as our son Jalen is graduating next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And we are will not be at this house because we're losing our water for a few days. So we are going on a mini staycation.
We're going off the grid.
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much, we're going to Grandma's house, so that is off the grid.
Yeah.
So thank you again. We will in 2 weeks, 2 Wednesdays from now. Yeah, with the most haunted places in the world that don't scare us, really. But we really that's more of a vacation for most of us.
Let's talk about the catacombs. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a beautiful
Haunted
place to
places
sleep.
and haunted experiences, even if it's on a show.
Yeah, and that really would be a nice place to sleep. The catacombs.
No,
Quiet, peaceful.
No, because supposedly you always hear rumbling
Rosella out.
from the traffic above.
Yeah.
Humans always ruin everything. All right, gay people. Have a good night, and we will talk to you later.
See you.
Take care.
Bye.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.